You know how people always say, find your why? I used to think that was for other people. People with a mission, a purpose, something noble. Me, I was just trying to make enough money to breathe. But this last year forced me to figure some things out. And I realized I've always had a why. I just had it backwards. See, for most of my career, I was chasing money, promotions, validation. I wanted to win. But underneath all of that, I just wanted to be useful, to help people, to make things better. I never called it contribution because that word sounded too big, too charitable, too not me. But then I heard Tony Robbins say something that stuck with me. You're not truly wealthy until you contribute. And that line hit me like a truck. So let me just say it clearly now. TriCore isn't about marketing. It's about contribution. Helping people live better, work smarter, take control of their business, their health, their life. Because that's what I've been trying to do myself. Every video in this series follows a rhythm. The first part is always some kind of story. Sometimes it's a why, sometimes it's a challenge, sometimes it's just something I've been thinking about that ties into the bigger picture. It's always personal and it's always real. That's how I'll keep telling the story of how I'm building TriCore, piece by piece. Then the second part shifts gears into what actually happened that month. What got done, what didn't, and what's next. So if you're here for the real, the messy, the meaningful, the accountability, the behind the scenes, you're in the right place. So what is TriCore? It's called TriCore for a reason. There are 3 areas I care deeply about: business, health, and education. Not because they changed my life in some neat story arc, but because they've shown me the most pain, the most frustration, and the most opportunity to actually help. I've watched businesses I cared about struggle and close. I've battled through my own health and sobriety journey, and I've seen firsthand how broken our school system still is. These are the places where I know I can make a difference, where I want to contribute, and where I feel most alive when I'm doing the work. That's what TriCore is. 3 missions, 1 vision. The first branch is TriCore Marketing. This is the part I'm building right now, the engine that's going to fund everything else. Marketing is where I started because I had to. It's the arm that can actually generate revenue now. But it's not just about money. I've seen the damage done when great businesses fade away because they never figured out modern marketing. I've lived it. My family's lived it. The marketing arm is about helping small businesses show up online like the pros they actually are. No fluff, no gimmicks, just systems that work. That's what I'm building first, right now. The second is TriCore Evolution. This one's personal. It came out of my sobriety and health journey. I got sober 17 months ago after drinking since I was 14. And sobriety didn't just give me clarity. It gave me the need to find something else to obsess over. That became health. Cold plunges, saunas, breath work, nutrition. I traded one addiction for another, but this one heals me. Now I want to build real world spaces that help people reset. Not gyms, not clinics, something new. I call them community wellness hubs. I picture a warm, minimal space, high-end coffee with grab-and-go deli up front, grass-fed, organic, seed oil-free food, no crap, just fuel. In the back, contrast therapy, sauna, steam, hot tub, cold plunge, all in a social atmosphere. And more than that, a place to connect. Friends meeting for a plunge instead of a beer. Moms trading off childcare so they can get their reset in. Real people, real conversations, real healing. I want to see these in every corner of the country. Every neighborhood, every small town, every major city. Not just for people chasing performance, but for regular people who want to change. A place to reconnect with their body, their mind, and each other. Something that feels human again, not clinical, not commercial, just real. Because if you lose your health, let's face it, you lose everything. The third is TriCore Education, probably the one that means the most to me. School failed me, and I'm not saying that as a victim because nothing happens to me, it happens because of me. But the truth is that system wasn't built for someone like me to thrive, and I know I'm not the only one out there. I was labeled ADD, I was medicated, molded, told to fit into something that never felt like me. Most kids today are still being pushed through a system that wasn't built for them or for the modern world. And we wonder why they graduate broke, confused, and insecure. This is about changing that. The vision for TriCore Education is still taking shape, but here's what I know for sure. It'll be non-profit, no gatekeeping, no barriers to entry. If a parent wants their kid to learn differently or a kid wants something more, they'll be able to walk through the door. These will be alternative schools. Full schools, not side programs, real spaces and real communities. Kids will still get the core knowledge they need to develop their brains, but everything else will be built around real world skills. how to manage your emotions, how to take care of your body, how to communicate, how to think critically, how to market, sell, and build something of your own. Health, wellness, entrepreneurship, all the things we were never taught but use every day. The dream is for every community in Canada and beyond to have a TriCore school. For this model to become the rule, not the exception. So we stop producing insecure, burned out kids who don't know who they are and start raising confident, capable, forward-thinking individuals who actually want to contribute to the world. That's the kind of school I wish I had, so now I'm building it. So there you have it. That's the whole picture. That's the structure I'm building from the ground up. Marketing, health, education. 3 missions, 1 purpose. And listen, I know these are big swings. Most people wouldn't even say them out loud a year into building a marketing company. But I'm not here to play small. I'm here to build something that actually matters. Like Steve Jobs said, the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. I plan to be one of those people. Now there's something I haven't talked about yet, the personal why behind all of this. I've spent most of my life on the move. I've lived all over Canada, coast to coast. I've worked in restaurants, pulled doubles, managed bars. I've lived in the US and the UK, and I spent 10 years in Spain. I wasn't some luxury traveler. I was grinding, surviving, figuring out one job and one flight at a time. And yeah, it was hard, but it was also the most alive I've ever felt. What I was really chasing wasn't travel, it was freedom. Freedom to live on my terms. To experience people and culture and perspective in a way that cracks you open and changes who you are. That's why I came back. That's why I'm building TriCore. Not because I'm done with that life, but because I want to do it again. This time with a foundation, with clarity, with control. I'm building a version of that life that doesn't burn me out or break me. One that's sustainable, one that lasts. I'm not doing this to get rich. I'm doing this so I never have to ask permission again. But dreams don't build themselves. You have to show up and do the work. And right now, I'm 1 year into building a marketing business only. So let me walk you through what that looked like this past month. I gave myself 4 public goals. Not some master plan, just the stuff I knew I needed to push on. First, content. I said I'd publish, didn't happen. But I've been busy filming and editing non-stop. 2 YouTube videos and 9 reels are recorded and ready to edit, and image posts are getting created. It's all there, just not finished and scheduled yet. I want to launch with at least a month banked, not scramble every day like some clown. So it's close, just not live. Second goal is the website. That's done. The staging site's up, structure's locked, the back end's solid. It was fully dialed before I made the switch you'll hear about in a second. But that goal, technically complete. Third was the marketing software waitlist strategy. That's built, fully thought through, ready to go. I'm just holding off on launching until the content and site are live. No point sending people to something half done. So yeah, done, just waiting for the timing. Last one was finishing my Photoshop and Premiere Pro courses. That one, not done. I've chipped away at Photoshop, about a third in, haven't started Premiere. But I've been learning on the fly just by building things. Not the cleanest way, but it's working for now. So 2 are done, 2 are still cooking. That's the truth. All that plus a couple new things landed on my plate that are now part of the mix. 1, a close friend from high school recommended me for a project with a German tech company expanding into Canada. I've already been in strategy meetings with their team, and next month I'm meeting their CEO in Toronto. Big opportunity here. And 2, my original client asked me to step in and help them launch their new website. That wasn't part of our original deal, but I said yes. When someone trusts you with that kind of thing, you show up. Simple as that. So here's what I'm locking in as my goals for this month coming. First, get that content scheduled. Not just filmed, not just ready, actually locked in and queued up. I want a full month sitting there ready to go, publishing without me having to scramble every day. Second, the website. I had everything built and ready to go in one system, and then I scrapped it. I found something better. But it means starting over from zero, learning a brand new tool I've never used, and rebuilding the entire thing from scratch. That's the goal this month. Learn it, set it up, and get the foundation laid properly. I'll always pivot strategies if it means a better long-term result. Third, finish the Photoshop course and finally get into the Premiere Pro one. Even just the basics. I need to stop avoiding it and just get it started. That's it. Fourth, that meeting with the German company's CEO in Toronto, I want to walk out of that with something, not just a nice chat, an actual agreement. And fifth, wrap up the extra work for my client's new site. They need to go live. I said I'd help. I'm going to get it done. So that's the list. That's the pressure I'm putting on myself this month. Let me close with this. I'm not making these videos and building these businesses for attention or riches. I'm doing it because I want to leave the world better than I found it, and I want to live in that world with freedom. I want to help business owners show up online like pros. I want to help people get control of their health. I want to help the next generation not repeat the same broken patterns. And the only way I know how to do that is by building it publicly. So here I am, still in the basement, still figuring it out, but finally walking in the right direction. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next month. And remember, your knowledge has power if you share it.